Well, guys, you know, there was a man named Jesus Christ, and there were stories about his life, and many of them were documented and written down, right? And just because people write things down doesn't mean it's real. They have these books about Jesus's childhood with a bunch of magical bullshit in it that's completely unbelievable, right? And they're not part of the Holy Gospels. They're not the Bible and all that, okay, and stuff like that. So you guys got to understand. And Jesus told me that in Sierra Vista. He said, "What if I sat and watched this movie called The Illusionist with Edward Norton and Liv Tyler, right?" And he sat and he told me, he said, "What if I told you that I didn't die?" I was like, "Oh, I already know that, Jesus." He goes, "No, but Earl, that I was moved from one point in time to another." But Jesus says, "I don't want to be moved in one point in time to another." You're not, okay? Okay, because the stories all say that. Okay? That Earl lives out his life and dies, like Malachi and David and Moses and Melchizedek. You see, it says that there are two times in rabbinic tradition of religion that there was a movement of people from one place to another, and most people that are not don't understand Islam realize that it allegedly happened with Muhammad in Mecca also. But with Muhammad, it happened differently. He was levitated and moved off. All right. He was picked up and moved from one point in time to the point where Jesus had moved to in the future. Okay. It says that in the Holy Quran. All right. And that people watched it happen. The same thing about the crucifixion of Jesus Christ and the resurrection. That people saw it happen and were like, holy crap. Okay. This man was dead and came back from the dead and then was moved away from us. Okay. The only other time they have written documentation where people saw that happen that I know of is in the Holy Quran with Muhammad. Okay. There might be other points in time that's happened in other books and stories and religions. Okay. I can't tell you. I don't know. I'm not a scholar and I don't read lots of books. I've got better things to do with my time than entertain my mind with thoughts. I would rather plant a garden with Emily and Kate and enjoy the fruits and vegetables, right, than sit down and read Robert Livingston Seagull or Glenn Beck. Okay. There are a lot of better things that you can do with your time in your life than read Glenn Beck or Jonathan Livingston Seagull or Paul Twitchell, right? If you got nothing better to do with your time than read Paul Twitchell, you might want to reevaluate the way you're living and say, maybe we ought to live the Lord's Prayer instead of me buying Paul Twitchell books so he can be a millionaire and manipulate people into thinking he's a great spiritual vehicle like Eckhart Tolle, right? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth there? Right. So you guys got to understand, I'm very pragmatic. And, when they keep showing me those things, they keep showing that thing about Huberman and Goggins, right? And they talk about inner strength and they talk about being strong. And then Huberman sits there and goes, buy my supplements, buy my mattress, buy this, buy that, buy my products. Okay, best little whorehouse in Palo Alto. I will do that. I want to be a best little whore like you too. I want to be Hank the Wimp, the ladies pimp, the women fight for my delight. I'm the grandmaster with the CMCs that shock the house for the young ladies. Say damn, start doing the freak. Say damn, right out your seats, throwing your hands out, shaking your derriere, right out as tall as you tell by now. I'm the baby of the bunch and the humps and the hitch and the humps and gosh, damn it, guys. No, when I listened to Rapper's Delight, I thought it was funny and fun. I thought it was a comedic way of taking music and expressing yourself to pay your bills. That's all I thought about Rapper's Delight. I didn't sit there and think it was earth-changing and world-changing. No, it wasn't, no. The music that I heard, the album that made me think the most and gave me a different way of thinking and seeing things was Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. Okay. And, what's what's going on. I didn't hear What's Happening, Brother, till I was older, but my two favorites on that, well, Mercy, Mercy Me, The Ecology, and Inner City Blues. Okay. Because I was at the Cunningham's house. I felt the pain and suffering of Mr. Cunningham going to prison and how it had affected the family, and it affected me. A lot of the kids at school didn't hang out with me anymore because I hung out with Carl Cunningham, and his dad was in prison. Okay. You weren't allowed to hang out with him. You got to hang out with that kid's dad is a jailbird. He's a criminal. Okay. And Mrs. Cunningham worked her ass off to take care of those kids. She worked 2 jobs every day. Okay. They lived in that trailer, and Wilma was a little mama. I liked Wilma a lot. She reminded me of Mrs. Cunningham. And Carl would run from her because Carl was older. Okay. He was the oldest child. Wilma was the middle child. Okay. But Wilma ran the house. Okay. Mom said, do this, you go do that. And she'd run and he'd do things that he wasn't supposed to do. And Wilma would be on him like stink on shit. And he would run. I was like, you need to listen to her because she said, Mama said. You got to listen to Mom. You know, when Dad gets back, when Mom says that, Dad goes in the room and takes a belt and rips skin off your body. Your brother Russell's, who you slept with, his body too, right? Do you understand how that works? Okay. It worked with me. It worked at my house. My mom, you sit there and you think your dad's mean because he rips the skin off your body or gives you welts with a belt. In order to have that information to kick your ass, your mom had to tell him. And then sit there, you didn't have to beat him so damn hard. You didn't have to tell him, did you? You could have just said, hey, you better stop that behavior or I will have your dad put welts on your body. Okay, Mom, that was, that's all you had to do. It worked with Corey Bowen. Uh-huh. Don't tell my dad! And all the bitchy behavior stopped right pow. Okay? If I'll just tell my mom, go ahead and tell your mom, I'll tell your dad. That's how we stopped Corey from acting bitchy with Patrick. Oh, don't tell my dad, he'll kick my ass, because I just sat down and talked with Punchy. He's doing this. Oh, he playing him. Okay, because Punchy was spanking Patrick because Patrick was breaking the rules. I said, well, what happens is Corey does it. Oh, he bitches him. And then, all right, well, I'll fix his little red fucking wagon. I'll say, Patrick hit you because you acted like a bitch. Now I'm going to hit you because you act like a bitch too. You won't be acting like a bitch anymore. Right? And it stopped Corey from doing that. He learned it from his mom. Corey's homosexual. Yeah, I wonder if Donald Trump and Barack Obama are homosexual. Joe Biden too, because they all act like bitches. I bet you they're like Tyler Sheridan. I bet you it cuts both ways. I bet you they put it in the rump, take it in the rump, whatever. They're like, Goggins and Huberman. We're Spartans. Put your manhood in me so I have the strength to fucking fight another day. Because, you pathetic. And David Rockefeller's cameras in every room. And oh my gosh. Yeah. You're like Hoover from the FBI. Yep. Okay, guys. So, scientist. Deliver us. I'm working on it, but DreamWorks sucks and so does Pixar. But propaganda always sucks. Okay, guys? And no, it's not a natural way of going. What's most likely going on, I can't tell you for sure. I'm not a scientist, but I can tell by a lot of things like with the genome sequence stuff out there is the likelihood of me ending up with Miss Lopez is probably very unlikely because their scientists say he's going to end up, attempting to save Amy and her kids. And he'll end up being in relationships with people like that. Okay, then they're supposed to be bad people. Amy's supposed to be like a Carmelita from the Cell, who would have sex with her own daughter because she couldn't have sex with Kim Kardashian, and it's her dinner with Gershwin. Again, who set up the conditions, and who set up the key, and who set up the gun? Is Oliver Stone making the movie in Superior, Arizona? You might want to U-turn before you head down that slippery slope. Okay, just forgive debt and trespass, love one of the eternal faithful peace. And I'm afraid to make up and say all is forgiven because something tells me for really we were heading for heartache. Are you really ready for love, girl? Earl rhymes with girl. Yeah, is it just the lonely talking again? I don't ever get that lonely. Truth is truth and lie is lie. And if I have to lie to you to have sex with you, I don't ever get that lonely. I've had moments because I understand my boys. You know, I had to take Amy to the Mormon church to give her a place where there was moral values, to keep her out of the bar and keep her out of the Baba Booey, Howard Stern world. But it doesn't work. No, because the people at the Mormon church are just like Howard Stern and Baba Booey. He's not doing it right. He's not following the orders from the Grand Poobah. So he doesn't get to be the guy who's the judge of the beauty contest because he'll vote for his wife. We searched high and low for Mrs. Water Buffalo, right? You're my Janet Jackson. You're my Jennifer Lopez. I'm the biggest thing. I'm the biggest. Give her that. No, why? Because it's bullshit. Okay. John Nagum was a little bully. He was a pain in the ass. I love him, and I love everybody, okay? But he got me a job, and then, oh, well, I helped you pay your bills. And then he took me around, and he tried to tell me everything what to do. It's like, let me get this straight. You're terrified. Okay, dude, you got left in your underwear getting ripped off by two black guys that are most likely Democrats in Charlotte to live here because you were terrified at what happened to you again. Okay, then you run around with me and you tell me to shut up. How are the military guys here any different than the two military Republicans here, any different than the two black Democrats that took your money and took your pants at the bus station in Charlotte? Yeah, and Jesus walked on water and he raised the dead and he came back from the dead and it was all magic and he's got a magic place waiting for you in the clouds after you're dead. And I'm nothing like Jesus and you think my pragmatism is obnoxious. Well, you're being a chicken shit and accepting their money over the Lord's Prayer is way more obnoxious to me than my pragmatism is to you, boy. I'll tell you that, son. You better get yourself together or you'll have some other guy fuck you to death like your brother. Take your Discovery, you prepped? Okay. Yeah, if you love one another, Justin Gentile was different. He would not have sodomy with his boyfriend, and he would not allow his boyfriend to sodomize him. They would not fuck each other to death because they loved each other. Two homosexuals, one wants to die, the other one wants to live. One should not pass judgment. You should try to be righteous. It's time we got serious with this here kind of business. Whoa, yeah. Make some common sense. Common sense is uncommon when the Lord's Prayer is denied to the children. You don't give people a choice to fuck or not to fuck. Okay? Fucking is wrong. It's vulgar intercourse. Okay? To love or not to love, we're going to love. If you want to go fuck each other to death, that's your decision because you're upset because we're no longer saying fuck is right. Okay? I got your borders are right here. There's a border. There's a line. No farther. No farther. Okay? Dum-da-dum-dum. Tyler Sheridan has a new script. I don't give a fuck what Tyler Sheridan is doing. He's a pussy face like Goggins and Ugerman. Now, and I'm not afraid of them. They're terrified of me. Right? Because I call them out publicly on their bullshit and they won't reply. They're afraid. Money isn't real. We won't be powerful or influential. There is no power in money. There's power and glory in the gift of life. And I am the reflection of that power and glory. Orale.